Hello and welcome to another installment of the ETS2 Agency Driver series. Now today's truck is the MAN TGX. It has 480 horsepower and it has a ZF 12 speed gearbox with a retarder. Now the route today is from Berlin to Lodz. Now throughout this series I've managed to pick up a different make and model of truck in the city where I've dropped off previously, but limitations of the job market, and I couldn't get a job from Leyland and MAN, so I've decided to go back to a city where I've been to before to showcase this truck. Now this may be the second to last part of the agency driver series that is actually reviewing the trucks, but there will be more episodes following on from these last couple here. So without further ado, I'll bring today's route up for you so you can basically see on the map where we're going to. Right, so basically Berlin, there, go across the border around just outside Berlin, around the outskirts of Posen and into Lodz there. Now there is some toll roads on this run, so we'll see how it goes. So let's get this show on the road, shall we then? And I'll tell you a little bit about the truck as we go.
Okay, here we go. Turn left.
Now, as in the other episodes of this series, there is no mods at all on the profile. It's just as the game comes.
Get ready to turn right.
So MAN or MAN, as they're known, are the truck manufacturer that SCS has had a license agreement with the longest, so you'll find MAN in the previous versions of the game as MAN. Now they're based off a TGX in the original version of Euro Truck Simulator and UK Truck Simulator, German Truck Simulator, etc. So they are based off one of these. Whether they're the same generation or not,
please mind the speed limit.
I don't know. So anyway, so at one time this was the only model of MAN that was available in the game till they introduced the updated version, which is the MAN TGX Euro 6, which is a totally different truck. Identical in some ways, but not in others. Would help if we if I click the switch down right, wouldn't it, for the gears there. So the cabin options available with these trucks is the straight. There's the XL, the double XL and the triple XL, which basically
keep right,
each one you go up just makes the cab a little bit higher. So
Exit
engine
right.
options range from 320 horsepower
Go straight on.
and they go up to a 680 horsepower. Now these use different engines
Keep right.
to what the Euro 6 does, so these are mainly all Euro 5 class engines in these. Yeah, so I was saying the engines start at 320 horsepower, they go up to 680 now. The 680 horsepower is the only
Keep
V8
left.
engine that's available for these trucks. All the other engine sizes are the inline 6 or flat 6s. Gearboxes these use,
Please mind the
these
speed
have
limit.
the Allison 6 speeds with or without retarder. Then there's a good range of 12 speed ZF gearboxes where the newer one uses Tipmatic but these use ZF. So there's a good range of the gearboxes there with the different ratios available, and the heavy hauler, heavy duty gearbox is the 16 speed ZF.
Keep right.
And all the
Then exit
gearboxes
right.
are available with or without retarder. So
Exit
done.
right.
Customization, yes, there's just a standard customization because there's no tuning packs available for these, but if you forums and find Mazda's MAN TGX or TGA or whichever one you want, they are available and they do give you additional customization on them, but they're a modded truck and I'm not reviewing modded trucks, so go. The dashboard is very similar to what is in the Euro 6 model, but to me this one actually has a better dashboard in. As normal with all the trucks, there's your dashboard there, you've got a rev counter. Oh, this one has a good green band on it which I like. It has the outside temperature below. Then obviously you've got your speedometer with your game time clock in it there. Your gauges are same as on the other model of MAN truck. You've got your fuel gauge, you've got your temperature gauge, and then you've got your air tank pressure gauges. Now, trim levels in a minute. In your central display, which is actually, you noticed that the one in here actually you can read it because it isn't that small because the font's bigger. It shows you what gear you're in, what your cruise control set at, total mileage what the truck's done, and then it has a digital speedo there as well. And on the next display you've got how many litres of fuel you've got left and about how many miles it will do there. And you've got your economy. Remember mine's in litres per 100 miles, so that's maybe why it seems higher than used to, because the default one is actually litres per 100 kilometres and 100 miles is 160 kilometres. And on the next one you've got your water and oil temperatures. Then you're back to that one again. Now we're just crossing the border from Germany into Poland, so I'm driving all the trucks on the default seating position. This one, to me, is actually okay. You can see the mirrors okay, but the only adjustment I'd do to the seating position in this one is actually put it lower down. Now, this truck does have a sat-nav built in. It's because it's got the exclusive trim, but there's only two levels of trim. There's a basic one, then the posh one's known as exclusive. It's the exclusive one that comes with the built-in sat-nav, but the base one doesn't. It's not perfectly sized, but at least it's a lot better to see and make out than what the one is in the newer generation of trucks. It's maybe just the position of it or the fact that it does appear to be a little bit bigger. Sometimes these Polish tolls are a bit slow to come up, but if you are playing the game and you're unfamiliar, be careful around all tolls, especially exiting, because the AI can just cut in front of you at any time or something, so do cause a few accidents. As well as is on some of the tolls where the speed limits are, there is speed cameras, so you can tend to get fined, especially in the Polish tolls quite often. Just got to say how much fuel I've got left for how much distance there is to go. Up 62, that's borderline. I may just do something I don't do very often, just to make sure that we have enough fuel to complete this journey. The random road events are on the default level on this, so that's why you get roadworks like this that you have to go through. Best just take them steady, don't go too fast through them, and you normally get through them without too many incidents. So
Caution. Please mind the speed limit.
the
Go straight on.
chassis options that's available with these trucks is obviously you got basically the standard range. I mean, you got your 4x2, 6x2, 6x24 and all the derivatives of those, and then the biggest one you can get is actually the 6x4, which this truck today is on a 6x4 chassis. So my opinions on these truck models, they're okay, they're very dated in terms of the design and the modelling, but they're a nice, honest, capable truck. Especially if you go above the 400 one. The ones under 400, they are just like any other small power truck, they're a bit underpowered for some loads, so as I said in a previous video, I don't mind the challenge of the smaller engine vehicles in the game. Although these MANs aren't too bad on fuel, they're in line with about what a Mercedes, your Actros would do. I mean, remember I said that they're not exactly the best on fuel. Which is actually surprising considering that MAN is a VW company, and VW aren't bad for fuel efficiency in the road cars and the light commercial vans and things like that. It's just these trucks that tend to be a bit heavily simulated on fuel in the game, so but I mentioned fuel economies before in the game. Now, got other economies in the game. The game economy is actually not as tough as where it could be. So right. The reason why I chose to fuel up is I thought I actually had more fuel left than what I had. It's because the fuel gauge is a bit small, and these, where it says half, which is the first marking, which is just above the red, you would think that is half if you just glance down at the gauge, and then you realise it's actually a quarter. So but that's just a little quirk, but you can use your digital gauge for that as well. How much fuel you've got. Oh, I admit there, I could have made it, because I thought these were 600 litre tank and they're not, they're 7. These, but obviously your 4x2s tend to have the biggest tanks, and then your smallest tanks tend to be in the 6x2 or 6x2 4s. It's obvious because where a tank will go, there's needs more,
please mind the speed
more
limit.
space taken up there for the working or the wheel itself, so smaller. But 700 litres on 6x4 isn't the biggest in the game, but it isn't the smallest
Go
size
straight
tank.
on.
Now the smallest tank on the largest chassis in the game, or one of them, is the Iveco Australis. So how would I compare the entry level of this truck? 320 horsepower, which you won't find in quick jobs. The lowest one in the quick jobs is 360. Let's check the map here because I've come off on the wrong one. This, if this happens, you normally just reroute yourself or come round. So we need to turn off here, and then it'll loop us. Should loop us about back around to the road where we were on. Yes, it does. It's just a little diversion. Yeah. Alright. Oh, that's a wonder. Nice AI for a change. I was just saying, I'm only human. I do make misturnings. I'll come off the wrong one. And sometimes if you do that, sometimes the map will update straight away. Other times it takes a while, but like I say, with the waypoints you can soon take your own route that actually puts you going in the right direction. Although the voice navigation is I do like the feature in the game. It's very good, and it's about one of the best things they've introduced actually.
Get ready to turn left.
Considering how the GPS used to be. In here it is sometimes very slow
Turn left.
in updating, and sometimes it'll say turn right, but you need to turn left. There's the odd times it does that, so things aren't quite 100% with that yet, but as I say, they do iron out some of the bugs in the game quite often with the little updates that they do. I think there's been 1 or 2 little updates to 1.35 so far. It's the same as ATS. If they find little bugs or altering or improvement, they'll do that. So too bad. So in some of the earlier versions of the games like UK Truck Simulator, I know of at least 2 or 3 invisible walls in that game now. I didn't get this game when it first came out. My first version would have been about 1.26, something like that.
Get ready to turn
The
right.
first version of the game that I actually played of this, so but I found errors in that.
Turn right.
So the invisible wall problems, yes, you do get some areas off-road, but there should be none in the main areas where you go, because they've all been tested and ironed out, because now the show like open beta versions, then they go into public beta versions before they actually release the full version. But again, that's to test new features out and things that they've actually put in the game prior to them doing the full release. So it's ready now, and they do that on both games. It's actually a good thing, that because you go on some games that's early release or you get released and then they have to be patched straight away because there's errors in that. At least SCS is involving its players, its customer of the game, because
Caution.
I just
Please
hope
mind
if
the
you're
speed
watching some of these videos that you do actually own a genuine copy of the game, because I do not like piracy in any way. Yes, there's so long you bought your license key and didn't download the full version of the game from a torrent site or anything, then you'll get help in the forums and things like that. So, or if you do buy the game and the DLC is legitimately either from Steam or any other legitimate key sites, you're actually paying to keep the development of the game going and
Caution. Please mind the speed
developers from your way, because if you develop something like a game, would you want 1 million people playing it for free when you miss out on things like that? So sound mods, yes, there is some sound mods available for these trucks. They're made, I think, mainly by either Lean or Oxygen. This one I'm not too sure, because let's say the truck that did a lot of miles in the older version of the game, but not really one I've used that much since. So, but I was saying the smallest engine 320 isn't available in the quick jobs, but then again, not all the truck's smallest engines are, as I've stated in some previous videos. Now, comparing compare the 3 smallest here: the Mercedes Actros 320, the Stralis 310, and these. Which one would I pick out of them? Possibly these, because the dash is better laid out, and although the 320 is a little engine and smaller powered, I'd opt for the 321 in one of these. But we'll go to engine, as I say, to get a decent one of these. Now, I found a couple of trucks, and I'm going to state some here. You can find engines that seem to be sluggish, low power and don't do much. That includes some of the biggest engines as well in some of the trucks. Now, and then you'll come across what, like our term repeats, one that'll do just what you want, it has enough power and it isn't much bother. Now, the 400 engine in these, I don't mind. The 360 one's not too bad, the 400 one's brilliant. But the 440 and the 480, like what this one is, and they don't seem very good at all, and I do not like the V8 engine in one of these. The sub-juice like the sub-D's like an alky in a pub, subs beer, or whatever the tipple is. Gobble it up way too fast. So, throughout these videos up to now, I've been the base map. We've done a little bit of rebuilt Germany, been to Denmark and Sweden, which is some of them were in the base map, the other one were in the Scandinavian DLC, and now we're heading into the oldest of the DLCs, I believe, for the game that was available, and that's the Going East area that like covers Poland and Hungary and Czechoslovakia and places like that. So quite a few map extensions. Where the next video will take us, I don't know, because I don't know if there'll be a job available with the highway, which is the only other truck I haven't covered yet in the series, but I'll get a job from somewhere to somewhere where I've been, that truck, if I can. And after that, I know we haven't got enough to get the truck that I wanted, so with the discovered cities what I've got so far, there's a couple of them do offer the special transport, so I may do showcase some of those that will then showcase the most powerful trucks and the largest gearboxes what they offer. But I say a bit of a way off yet before I make those, because I've got this series running. I'm doing Idiot's Guide to ATS series, which I've got a few videos made on that now, and but still have a few more to do there on that, and I've got do some drives in that to show people how I'm building the profile in that, and then I'll do the same. So I started off the Aegis drive, which is sort of like building myself profile up, and so I will do continuing on with this profile, probably just on the base map unless I put one in, and so that's how things are going to progress up to now. But things may change, it depends on my moods and what I'm able to achieve, and if people have any suggestions in what I should do, just put them in the comments anytime. I do look at my comments and I do reply to most of them, so but there may be delay between you putting a comment on a video and me actually doing it, because it depends on how many things I've got made to upload at the time when I publish this one, but things will be answered, so I am fairly open, so you can ask me anything you like and I will answer you as best I can in one of my videos. So I was going to do a live stream of one of these agency driver videos. That may still happen, but at the moment my download speed on my internet's fine, but with the area where I live and age of the
Caution.
phone exchange, because it hasn't even been updated for the fibre broadband yet, wiring, so that's why there's a bit of a limitation on upload speeds. But as I say, I'll do what I can when I can.
Keep right.
as I was saying in the
Exit
previous
right.
video, that you get 100 streamers, people who make videos about ETS2 and they all do it differently in their own way, but it's not like a game with levels that you have to do this, that and the other. Basically, there's driving side of this. You can go into management side, but there's only one thing wrong with that. Your drivers will only earn while you're driving or on the road. Now that doesn't mean to say they sleep when you sleep, but you're active in your game in your truck whether you're driving it or you're asleep. They'll still keep the money coming in for you, but that's what the limitation is on the management side of this. Now there may be something in the future so you can actually dispatch your own AI drivers.
Get ready to turn right.
Which would be actually good because the AI system at the moment, we start off at the garage where they're based at, they take a job to City B. Say they're in London, they take a job to Birmingham.
Turn right.
They have to get a job back to Birmingham. Sorry. Yeah, if they're based in London, they take a job to Birmingham. The job that they get from Birmingham has to be back to London, so that's one thing that needs ironing out, so you can actually dispatch them so they can drive like what you do in the game, so they can
keep right,
pick a job, take it to a city,
right.
then from the city where they drop off at they can go to any other city rather than going at the base at all the time.
Turn right.
It would actually be more realistic if you could actually dispatch them in somewhere, which you can't do at the moment. The only control you have over them is basically what truck you put in, but you can put them all in 310 Stylishes or Renault Magnums. It doesn't matter because the jobs they get are generated for them, and you don't get whinges that they've only got low power trucks or crap trucks or out like that. So we employ drivers, keep your truck basic, give them basic trucks. They don't earn any less for having a
keep left,
bottom of the range one than what they would
left.
the top of the range one. It's a cheaper outlay to start with if you give them a cheaper truck.
Turn left. This is where it ends.
Now is this going to be a good park or a bad park? I have a feeling it'll be an awkward park. These trailers are a bit wayward if they've got the rear steering on. Lovely on the road, but they're so snap. Oh, sharp turn when you don't need actually quite as much turning effort with one of these on. In that last. Yeah, so just gonna see how well we did there. Apart from the short diversion we had to take, we managed to go up a level and earn 5,557 euros. So do that. Build these ADRs up a little bit more, and that concludes today's journey. So shoot. 10-10 for now. Stay safe on them roads. Don't have too many accidents, and goodbye.